Mother Nature has decorated this great site with pleasing colors. Thanks to the abundant rain and moderate temperatures in the subtropical zone, the vegetation is lush. There are steep peaks and deep, quiet canyons. The streams, lakes, and waterfalls peacefully exist with the trees and the mountains. The scenery here is ancient and simple, and the local culture is unique. Houses are built on the mountains and near water. This poetic life is like a picture painted by a master. This is Wulingyuan, called an earthly paradise by China's ancients. Wulingyuan, located in northwest Hunan province, is an area of hills and ravines. The columns of quartz and sandstone in Wulingyuan, rarely seen elsewhere, are the epitome of natural beauty. Ancient Chinese scholars and poets, impressed by the bucolic scenery, called it paradise on earth. Tang Dynasty poet Wang Wei praised the natural scenery in Song of the Peach Blossom River. People live in Wulingyuan in heavenly orchards. The difference between the highest and lowest altitude in Wulingyuan is nearly 1,000 meters. Within this area of 400 square kilometers, there are 3,103 closely distributed hills. To outsiders, Wulingyuan has an indescribable magic and beauty. To the local Tujia people, each uniquely shaped peak represents an ancient and mysterious legend. This dance has been called a living fossil of primitive Tujia opera. It carries a great deal of religious overtones and shows that the ancient Tujia people were nature worshippers and slash and burn explorers of the wilderness. Their religion basically consists of worship of nature and their ancestors. The locals are constantly inspired by nature. Wulingyuan provided a secret path to invade the state of Shu, beginning in the Qing dynasty. Because of its special geographic location and military function, the area experienced constant warfare. For this reason, most local stories are related to war. Shentang Bay is the site of countless war stories. In the early Ming dynasty, Xiang Da Kun, dissatisfied with the government, declared himself king in Tianzi Mountain. He called himself King Xiang and his state the Kingdom of Heaven. Ming Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang immediately sent soldiers who surrounded King Xiang in Shentang Bay. After several failed attempts to break through the encirclement, he and his men jumped into the deep ravine. After King Xiang's suicide, people began hearing strange sounds from Shentang Bay. Days later, people were surprised to find King Xiang and his men had turned into hills. There are a great many exotically shaped hills in the area. Locals gave each of them a name based on their shape. This peak is known as the medicinal herb gatherer because it resembles a tall, thin, elderly Tujia man wearing a bandana. He carries a basket of medicinal herbs on his back. He was said to be King Shang's army doctor. When he heard about Shang's death, he became so distraught that he turned into this rock. Countless steep stone columns and peaks are found throughout an area about 20 kilometers by 10 kilometers. The jagged shapes of the bare rocks have been created by nature over millions of years. Exotic shapes, such as the peaks known as medicinal herb gatherer and the fairy holding flowers, came into being through this process. "70 million years ago, a flat quartz sandstone formation was pushed up out of the water. Geological forces gradually fractured it, forming a straight canyon. The softer parts of the rock were highly vulnerable to the impact of weathering and erosion. The rain washed away the gravel from the eroded surfaces. The combined rainwater and sand gradually ground down the rock, eventually cutting the rocks into hundreds of millions of years ago, became the intricate masterpiece of nature that we see today. A steady supply of water from perennially flowing streams have enabled the area to teem with life. The area is home to rich biological diversity. Wulingyuan is located between a mid-subtropical and northern subtropical zone and has 4 distinct seasons. The abundant rainfall has enabled the development of a wide range of flora and fauna. The area is over 85% forested. There are 751 species of woody plants alone. Boreal and tropical plants that wrap around each other are a common feature of the landscape. The trees at the bottom of the valley around Golden Whip Creek grow tall and thin as they compete for the light. It is a strange and rare phenomenon. The forest provides an excellent habitat for wildlife, including 28 species of animals under national protection. An amphibian called the giant salamander lives here. They generally have brown skin coated with transparent mucus and spots on their back. They make a sound like a baby crying and are known as baby fish in Chinese. The landscape of Wulingyuan doesn't appear to provide a good living and working environment for the local people. Like rural residents elsewhere in China, they depend on local agriculture to live. Due to the lack of nearby arable land, the chieftain has been the symbol of supreme authority here since 939 AD. Away from the jurisdiction of the central government, people under the chieftain enjoyed certain rights, such as exemption from taxes, It was the first special administrative region in China, but these rights were rescinded in the Qing dynasty. The Tujia, Miao, Bai, and other ethnic minorities have lived in Wulingyuan for generations. The Tujia and Miao mostly live in houses on stilts between the mountains and rivers. The plain wooden houses on stilts keep out the moisture and the cold, as well as protect the residents from insects and snakes. There is a balcony that goes around the house used for viewing the scenery and drying clothes. Different ethnic groups live in harmony with each other, unaffected by modern life. Water connects the town and village. As you stroll along the bluestone paved lane, the small town resembles a slowly opening book. The houses in the small town are not large, so people can easily talk to each other across the street. There is only a sliver of sky visible between houses. A young man named Shentang Bay bade farewell to his hometown and to his home on this bluestone lane. Many years later, he became known as the father of native literature. Shentang Bay created a great deal of literature about the people and culture of Western Hunan, describing his hometown for the world. This is a typical Tujia custom. Tujia girls used to start learning the crying at the age of 11 or 12. Their intelligence was judged by their performance, and the more tears they shed, the more luck it would bring them. So the water-dripping bed could also refer to this wedding custom. The bed is very important in the life of the Tujia because they believe that half of their life is spent in bed. It is both the starting and ending point of life. When they see their bed in the morning, they realize they have everything they could want. The bed tells them about life and how to live. The older mountain villagers still live the traditional idyllic life, keeping watch over their home. For thousands of years, they have communicated through song. From the first meeting through marriage, young people sing as their main way of expressing their feelings. They sing with unrestrained enthusiasm and use lively metaphors and euphemisms. These sublime songs of nature have become matchmakers. The rustic and plain folk customs and the steep mountains are the biggest attractions in Wulingyuan. Locals believe these miracles of nature are endowed with the glory of the gods. The mystery of Western Hunan and the dreams of the people in the mountains are like a beautiful poem.